little bit more about the Nycos cycle. In the next portion of the video, we're going to actually talk about the actual mechanics of the arc and why it's appealing. And I wanted to thank you for spending time watching us with us so far. If you're still with us and you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you put a like on this video. Follow us on Twitch, and also go over and subscribe to us on YouTube, where we put the shorter form videos as well. And we'll be right back as soon as I switch the screen to the third one. This has been Jonathan Albin, Game Master Soapbox, and this has been the Nycos Cycle, Reasons to Play. Alrighty. And we're burning through this material like nobody's business, and I'm hoping that at some point somebody will jump on and ask any more questions. Valve's BTW, feel free to ask anything more if you want as well. Glad to have you with me. We are talking about Nycos now, and so this is the game. This is the game world This is the game world that my fantasy adventures are set in, and the overall story of the world is this. The beginning of the arc is that the world is finally at peace. Something has occurred in the past few months, years, and there is no longer any war anywhere. Now, at this point, the human population is at an ebb. There are not nearly as many human beings on the planet as there have been in the past, for whatever reason, whether it be warfare, plague, pestilence, floods, whatever. But the population of humanity is at its low point. And so therefore, we're beginning the new story. Now, along the way, at some point in those early months of the iteration, a prophecy of the world is discovered. And the prophecy of the world is the same prophecy that has always cropped up. I haven't changed it in, 48 years. Now, the first time through was not nearly as well formed. By the third iteration, it was. But the prophecy of the world is discovered by players who then start to study the signs of them. And after an even longer period of time, say another 3 or 4 months to a year or whatever, a few of those signs seem to come to fruition. So there might be some validity to this prophecy. Now, the reason why this is the case is the players have interacted with the prophecy, have started to interpret what it might mean, and their interactions have led to some of the fulfillments. As this starts to happen, the villainous ones, whoever they happen to be by that iteration, start to reveal themselves, generally by taking actions that are in opposition to the players. The players have to make some sort of stand, and they determine that they are going to change destiny by fulfilling this prophecy and changing the way the world works. Now, as they're going along, the mystery starts to expand, and the players start to see that there is a reason to put their words into a prophecy themselves, because they want to not only enact changes in this world, but in the next as well. And so they're the ones who start to put together the prophecies. They start to prognosticate about what's going to happen in the future and what the players might do. And in some cases, as specifically as they can, in other cases, as generally as possible. But the idea is that the prophecies are created by the players for other players to interact with. This means that the players actually establish how the world will end by determining which of the prophecy pieces they want to do last. And the final thing is that the next iteration's objectives are hidden in the prophecies of the next future, so that you're not even sure what it was that they accomplished, because you have to discover the future to discover the past, to discover the future, to discover. You see where we're going here. So the Nycos story doesn't have a lot of glitz and glamour. There's not a lot in here that says what the conflicts are. There's nothing much here that says who the villains are. And this might be frustrating to those of you who are used to a game master giving you huge sizzle and explaining the sunlight and explaining. I do that, but I do that in game for my players. I don't do that out here in the world, because I want you as a game master to write your own story. I want you as role players to experience the game as I have, being a creative inside the engine. You don't want to be the piece that's out there copying other people's work, because that only means you're replicating their model. You're not creating your own. And I want every one of us to be super hyper creative. And so this is the reason why the Nycos RPG story is so short, sweet, and limited. Now, notice this is 10 lines of text, and this describes a 6-year campaign. You can kind of start to see why, if I'm letting the players discover the world, discovering what's villainous about it, describing what they want to react to, and how they want to resolve it. And by doing it in such a fashion, each iteration is its own unique thing. And so now there are players that want to be able to access different iterations by having a different understanding of the rules of the game. And so that's been a fun little experience to try to figure out how to do that. But the 9th iteration enhanced edition book is out. If you go to NycosRPG.com, you can order directly from there. And you can also order from lulu.com if you look up Jonathan Albin and Nycos. So either way, you can get a hold of the book right away. And it does make a dynamic change to have a game system that doesn't get in the way of your story. So if you've seen this and you like what I've said so far, feel free to reach out and communicate with me. If you get the opportunity to go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there, it really helps to get the word out to other people. And in the meantime, I want to thank you for having been here through